It's already been a week since we got here, but it seems like yesterday. Johan and I are both sorry to be leaving. After the last few weeks driving around Ladakh, the fest has turned out to be the perfect foil to our hectic schedule. I am using the last day to do more of what I've been doing since we got here. Relaxing, reading, writing and just staring into the distance. There's an interesting mix of people we've met here from different countries and with different vocations, united only by their passion for climbing.
Ilya Berulava and Lasha Kvekveskiri are from Tbilisi in Georgia. Both are professional mountaineers and have climbed all over the world. The Caucasus Mountains are their backyard, and recently Lasha made it to the summit of Mount Ushba in Georgia's northwest Svaneti region in 9 hours and 56 minutes. It was the fastest recorded ascent on the mountain that is regarded as the most difficult ascent in the Caucasus. The lure of climbing hitherto unsummited peaks in Zanskar has brought them here.
You guys are both from Georgia. You guys are climbing together, no? Like with climbing, it's often like you climb two people together so that you can like help each other out, and that that's like this kind of the procedure for climbing, isn't it?
Yeah, actually we are quite a big team in Georgia, the climbers. But at this time we come just two, just to look around here.
Okay.
And then for the next year we plan to come with a bigger team.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sure. And you've climbed like a lot of stuff in Eastern Europe and the Caucasus Range and that in your area also?
Yeah, actually I'm climbing around 20 years.
Wow, really?
So,
20 years?
Yeah, I started from sport climbing.
Okay.
And then went for skiing.
Yeah.
So all of these years I went to Western Europe, Eastern Europe. I climbed a lot in Caucasian mountains, also in Himalayas and in Kyrgyzstan, Central Asia. So now this is a new area for us to explore, to see the new peaks.
It's really nice to be here now to explore some unknown Himalayan range. You know, it's not really like a popular. You know, it's this area. It's not quite popular. So it's nice to be here and to explore some.
What about you, Yulia? What is your climbing background?
More like a sport climber.
Okay.
And just climbing, not mountaineering either. But
this sport has become so popular, like everywhere in Europe, in the Alps, more or less we know everything. So people are climbing. It's climbed everything. So now people started to look for new places, which was closed before, or you don't get a lot of information.
Right.
But it's cool, and it's a huge mountains and huge walls. So
everything in the Himalayas is just enormous. You know? That's cool. Well, I wish you guys good luck on your future expedition towards Noon and Kun, and hope you guys get a chance to do a first ascent out there. That would be really cool.
These guys just don't give up. Sandeep Kumar Maiti is one of India's brightest hopes when it comes to sport climbing. He's represented India at most of the Climbing World Cups over the past few years. He's been working on what these guys call a project, a difficult climb which he's been trying to solve. In spite of his best efforts, he's not been able to make it up this rock face, but just refuses to back off.
Come on! Nice! Come on!
It's getting cold now, but he's still at it. I'm just going to set up some time lapses. The stars have come out and the Milky Way galaxy looks so close that you could reach out and touch it. Maiti is aiming for the stars. At this rate, you'll get there. Finally, it's time to leave. It's been a perfect week of winding down, and now it's time to hit the road. Meraj and I had not planned to stop in Kargil before heading down to Srinagar. Neither of us thought that there was any merit in spending time in this town. But that changed when we had a chance conversation with Musamil at the Suru Boulder Fest. Musamil is from Kargil, and he told us about this village right on the line of control that was abandoned by its residents many decades back.
Musamil, thank you for doing this for us here. A very, very short notice. But from whatever you were telling me yesterday at the festival at Suru, this village sounds really interesting. थोड़ी कहानी तो बताइए इसकी क्या है?
So basically this village, it's actually the original name is Hundarman.
How do you say that again?
Hundarman.
Hundarman.
Yeah. Hundarman and Brolmo were two sister villages. basically neighboring villages. And Brolmo is the village which interestingly you can see now while we are driving up. You can see from the Indian side, Brolmo is now in the Pakistan side. So till 71, Hundarmo was also under the occupancy of Pakistan. It was under the Pakistani territory. So after the 71 war, it came under the Indian this thing.
So these were like twin villages, were they?
Yeah, so sort of. They were sister, neighboring villages.
And one went into Pakistan, one stayed in India.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so now that village is abandoned. So even this also is now sort of partially abandoned because they still use the farmland around it.
Right.
But the settlement itself is very interesting. It's a 500-year-old, approximately 500-year-old settlement.
We make a pit stop at a popular viewpoint on the way to Hundarman village. People stop here mostly for viewing army posts on the LOC. The military bunkers, white dots on the mountaintops, give an indication of just how tough a soldier's life is in this region. We continue on and the village comes into view around a bend. At first glance, the village is barely distinguishable from the hillside. That's how well integrated it seems into the landscape. Hundarman is often described as a ghost village, and it's only when you visit that you realize just how appropriate that description is. It's not lifeless. The fields surrounding the village are still tilled by villagers, and the houses still bear marks of erstwhile inhabitants. Wow, this is gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, this is at least 500 years old.
500, huh?
Yeah. So this is our first gallery.
Gallery. When you say gallery, what do you mean by gallery?
So in these we have, it's kind of a museum. So it's called the Unlock Hundarman Museum of Memories, because we wanted to give you like a softer side of the war, right? So the objects inside are basically objects of daily use, which we have found in this house itself. But the reason why we call it unlock because it has this traditional locking system, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, it looks like there's no lock at all on it.
So yeah, you can see that's the key. While trying to open it.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
Still works.
Mohammad Ilyas lives in a village higher up in the valley where erstwhile residents of Hundarman have re-established their houses. His childhood was spent in one of these very houses. Now the same structure has been turned into a gallery which displays an assortment of objects used by his family.
Is written from Brolmo, which is the neighboring village in Pakistan. अपनी उसकी एक भाई ने अपनी बहन को लिखा है यहाँ पे.
ये वाला?
मेरी माँ. हाँ. Ilyas's mother.
Oh, your mother?
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is the print of like a
of the parchment
blow up of the actual Urdu letter, and this we have translated into English.
Fantastic.
And this was the board that is.
So this was your house, Ilyas? यहाँ पर था?
It broke down.
ये दिखाइए फिर.
This is where Ilyas was born.
This is where Ilyas was born?
Really?
And he grew up here in this room, in this house.
You grew up in this house, हाँ? बड़े इस घर में हुए हैं, बताइए. क्या बात है. अच्छा, and it's right. The rock face is right here.
Yeah. You can
तो
see
ये पहाड़ पे ही बन
it's
गया.
built on the rock face.
On the
That is so cool. It's like living in a cave when you have all sides rock, huh?
In a way, yeah.
But where does the smoke go? So this
आप यहाँ बैठते थे.
this was a fire pit, this thing in the middle.
Yeah, so the smoke was going up from here.
Hold up.
सिलबट्टा.
So
आजकल मशीन पे निकलते हैं ना. पहले जब गिरी तोड़ने के बाद 3-4 लेडीज को बुलाया तो नीचे वो रखा हुआ है इसका ऐसा.
समझ गया. वो क्या है वो पीछे? जी ये what are these?
So these are objects जो इन्हीं के ही हैं.
सिक्के.
ये माला जो मेरे माँ के है तो.
अच्छा ये आपके मॉम की है.
ये लेटर है जो पत्थर के साथ टच करके.
Traditional lighter.
अच्छा फ्लिंटस्टोन. अच्छा.
और इसमें गांधी जी चश्मा है, क्वीन से पैसा. यहाँ पे बड़े जमहूरियत पाकिस्तान गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की
This is a very rare.
अरे हाउ कम यार, ये उर्दू में कैसे है? ये तो मैंने देखा नहीं पहले कभी। और तो मैंने देखे हैं, और तो मैं भी पहले कॉइन्स कलेक्ट करता था बच्चों ने।
1940 के।
So in 47 when partition happened, Pakistan did not have a reserve bank for a year.
अच्छा।
So India used to print the currency for them.
Look at the stove. What is this? What is this thing here? Is this an oven? This whole thing? What is
No, this is not an oven. This is actually
storage area?
this is actually where they used to keep like newborn lambs and
Inside the home.
in the winter. In the winter.
अच्छा, in the
Because
winter.
outside it used to be too cold, right?
Right.
So they used to. These are like all the
Shells.
bomb shells.
ये
Yeah.
कब गिरे यार? ये तो अनएक्सप्लोडेड लग रहा है यार मेरे को।
Right, मतलब.
बोला तो लाइव शेल है।
हाँ बिल्कुल।
हाँ?
एक्चुअली बड़े को रखने नहीं दिया।
बड़े को नहीं रखने दिया, अच्छा ही किया नहीं रखने दिया। कुछ भी हो सकता है, खुदा ना खास्ता कहीं कभी भी।
ये मटर का गोला है, इससे एक बड़ा भी होता है।
And these are also war paraphernalia.
Yeah.
हाँ, ये विंटर का ये
इसमें grains रखते हैं।
हाँ रखते हैं।
और ये सब इंडियन आर्मी
इंडियन वार में 2 बंदा इसमें बैठ जाता था, जो ज्यादा डर जाता था इसी के अंदर।
वाओ, दिस इज लाइक लिविंग हिस्ट्री है।
जून इंडिया में आया 1971 में, तो 73-72 में ये कार्ड बनाया।
ये लोग इंडिया आए थे।
हाँ.
ना इंडिया में
अच्छा,
जब
1970
तक बंद था ना,
जब when it got annexed into India, these were their fresh IDs.
Oh, they got fresh IDs.
ये दादाजी है, चाचा, ये भी दादाजी।
The memorabilia in particular is a poignant reminder of the human cost of war.
Oh, these doors are not made for big people.
Yep.
Oh, these are like this, like a games room.
So this is basically we have documented like the local lifestyle and like how people used to live here. So try to understand how were they doing farming, how did they pass time and stuff like that. So these are some old games that we documented.
अच्छा हाँ, ये तो this I mean I don't know what it is, but it looks वो
So we try to explain the games here.
that looks very complicated. वो टिक टैक टो टाइप लग रहा है।
हाँ, something like that, something like Chinese checkers.
टिक टैक टो एंड
ये बहुत 3-4 घंटे लगता था इसको।
अच्छा, आपको आता है इलियास खेलना? क्या बात है।
Pre-71,
अच्छी बात से इधर उसमें प्राप्त होते थे।
pre-47. And these are basically objects of like people who are living here, his relatives, his family, his parents, his uncles. So this is a French made
coffee.
Coffee.
Oh, Paulson's coffee, of
Paulson's
course.
coffee. Then
I know.
these are like dyes.
This looks German.
Made in Germany.
Yeah.
Dyes because textile was a very important commodity on the Silk Route.
Right.
And this route, as you saw below, this Kargil route is there.
Aspirin.
Aspirin. This is made in Pakistan, somewhere in Islamabad or Karachi or something.
Shells.
या सो ये लोकल शेल में बनाने, इसको रिंडी बोलते हैं, लोकल बंदूक में जो डालते हैं बुलेट।
बरमार में
हाँ, जिसमें वो मैच लॉक गन,
खच 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 ऊपर से
मैच लॉक गन।
हाँ
So these are local arrowheads.
प्लास्टिक वाला नहीं।
So yeah, different kinds. This is made in I mean obviously East India Company.
Yeah, I know. My granddad was also a cop.
Okay.
And so I also have very similar memorabilia. So this is Gallery 1, huh? Which is a different house? Wow, this place is just gorgeous. Yeah. So this is Gallery 2. So this is somebody else's house.
This is his relative who now lives in Pakistan.
अच्छा, आपकी वालिद साहब के मामा का घर। अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा
They're still in touch.
Well, I would hope so.
Another secret lock on this one.
This one had one, but
We change it to a more regular. चलिए। अच्छा, so this is like. अच्छा, ये तो वो तुर्तुक के हैं वो।
हाँ, इसमें ज़्यादातर
पत्थर वाले ना
हमारे
ये?
ट्रेडिशनल चीज़ें। हाँ, दिस इज कॉल्ड दुरू।
दुरू।
दुरू दोस्तोक भी बोलते हैं, दुरू भी बोलते हैं। So इसमें ट्रेडिशनली they used to cook meat or things like papa which is made out of barley.
4-5 घंटे तक गर्म रहते हैं।
हाँ,
आजकल मस्जिद में लगाते हैं ना नीचे से गर्म रहने के लिए।
Slate stone,
हाँ।
which is called
अच्छा,
slate.
मैंने तुर्तुक में देखे हैं ये।
हाँ जी, ये तुर्तुक।
प्रेशर कुकर भी देखे हैं इसके बारे में।
Across
होते हैं मगर
जरूरत ही नहीं है।
हाँ।
this across Central Asia you will find this.
Across
Even
Central Asia,
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
So you're saying like even Mongolia and places?
Yeah, you will find it everywhere.
really?
You will find in Pakistan, like Baltistan, Gilgit, I think some parts of China also, Xinjiang
We'll
area.
probably have it.
Yeah.
This one is not made of stone, is it?
This is, I think, brass.
Brass. Just
Yeah.
recently cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are more like
Yeah.
very old, like, you know, so these are like very
ये क्या है ये?
almost old age kind of, you know. This is basically like a big sort of.
लकड़ी को नेचुरल लकड़ी का है.
It's a natural log.
हाँ.
उनको से चिजल करके इन्होंने बनाया है.
ये क्या चीज़
बहुत
है?
पुराना है. शायद
Grain
इसमें ग्रेन
निकाल-
निकालते होंगे या पानी निकालते होंगे.
अच्छा.
But I mean, to me, this is like my favorite object in the
Yeah.
whole gallery.
ये मैंने देखे थे, काफी जगह देखे मैंने ये.
हाँ जी, ये चाय बनाने के लिए जो नमकीन चाय बनाते
मैंने
हैं.
हिमाचल में भी देखे हैं ऐसे.
होगा.
Similar type.
हो सकता है.
हायर हिमाचल में.
हो सकता है. स्पीति, लाहौल,
ये
उस साइड.
शलगम को कूटने के बाद-
शलगम को कूटने के लिए?
हाँ.
और मीट भी वो करते हैं.
हाँ, फिर सुखा के विंटर में यूज करते
अच्छा, मुझे लगा शायद बेगम और किल का है ये मियाँ को सही रखने के लिए.
वो भी है.
हैं. इसमें सूप जैसे को डालने के लिए, इसमें पत्ता वप्पा डालने के लिए सूप.
So ये these are all handmade plates, you know, wooden
Yeah, like
handmade plates.
forged
हाथ
ना?
से बनाया है.
मार के ना.
Yeah.
ये क्या चीज है?
ये गरम चीज को कुछ
अच्छा,
पकड़ने के
संसी
लिए.
type.
That's cool. A hot handle.
Yeah. And then obviously these are like army सब military.
ये तो हाँ
supply.
looks ये तो सीधे MH से आया military hospital से. I've also spent enough time in military hospitals. What is this?
This is to make the papa whatever you're making. This is.
अच्छा, it's like a spatula.
Yeah.
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा.
What about this thing?
अच्छा. ये तो इंक की बोतल है.
Parker. Yeah, it
Syahi.
says Parker on it.
Yeah.
स्याही.
But they made it into like a lamp. So you put kerosene in this, and there's like a small.
Is that a wick on the top?
Yeah, it's a small wick.
How some of the families that lived here were cleaved apart, and how people got new identity cards once the village became part of India. How much does the country we live in determine our identity? Just one of the questions that swims in my head on our way back.
खेत में तो लोगों ने लगा रखे हैं यहाँ पे.
हाँ, बिल्कुल. इस साल बर्फ कम है ना, इसीलिए खेत सूख गया बिल्कुल. देखो.
अरे यहाँ से दिखता है, यहाँ से व्यू है पूरा.
हाँ, बिल्कुल.
This is the view. Look at that. These structures are still standing, but I don't know how long they'll stand. You know.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
these ones on the
the
left look
that's
really
the
old.
fight against time actually.
Because एक मतलब वही है, खुदा ना खास्ता एक आया आपका ट्रेमर, एक दो ट्रेमर आया और काम हो सकता है.
No, over time also it weathers out, right? With season, every winter it's snowing and rain and things like
अच्छा
that.
हाँ,
It starts
स्नो भी तो
falling apart.
बहुत भारी होती है.
बहुत बिल्कुल.
है ना, ज़्यादा बर्फ पड़ेगी तो.
तो तकरीबन सबसे लास्ट छत होगा ना,
जी.
वहाँ से नीचे फेंकना है और किसी की मकान पे नहीं गिरना चाहिए. जब बर्फ फेंकते हो
ऐसे फेंकना पड़ेगा.
ना फोर्स लगाना पड़ता
अच्छा, that is ये तरीका ये होता है
हाँ.
कि अपनी छत से फेंके और किसी और के मकान में ना गिरे.
ना गिरे.
तो जो सबसे ऊपर है उसको खूब खींच के फेंकनी पड़ेगी. ओह, अच्छा. So during the Kargil war, you had shells going over that.
Yeah, so across because this is the
That is side is Pakistan.
yeah, so shells were coming from
पाकिस्तान कितना दूर है इसके ऊपर यहाँ से?
सीधे तो ज़्यादा क्या होगा 1-2 किलोमीटर.
1-2 किलोमीटर पर.
हाँ.
So you had shells coming over this.
Yeah.
तो आप यहीं थे तब? नहीं, आप तो आप
99 में था.
आप यहीं थे?
हाँ,
तो आपने देखा था वो सब?
99 में तो पूरे यहाँ से इंडिया का गोला, यहाँ से पाकिस्तान का गोला. रात को तो बिल्कुल आसमान रेड दिखता था.
रेड दिखता था.
बिल्कुल. और जैसे कि वहाँ से जूमी फेरी हुआ ना,
जी.
तो एक आवाज़ सुना.
जी.
तो यहाँ पे आने के फटने के बाद दो आवाज़ सुना.
अच्छा, फायर का और
हाँ,
गिरने का.
हाँ, पहले वहाँ से आवाज़ आता है, फिर कुछ मिनट के बाद यहाँ पे
अच्छा, लेकिन क्योंकि ये बिल्कुल आड़ में था, यहाँ कुछ नहीं आया
आवाज़
होगा.
निकलते आता था.
यहाँ पे थोड़ा सेफ फील करते थे. एंड वहाँ पे उन्होंने जो वॉल आपको दिख रही है पत्थर के नीचे.
वहाँ पे वो.
हाँ, वो वहाँ पे तो उसके नीचे एक्चुअली एक नेचुरल केव फॉर्मेशन है.
अच्छा.
तो वहाँ पे बेड जैसा बना
हाँ.
के सोने के लिए ऐसा.
अच्छा.
पहले तो वहाँ पे शलगम सूखता था.
शलगम
की हाँ. Then stappa
Johan, they're telling us about that place, their wall,
Don't
as a
stappa
cave
mountain.
where they'd put some beds. So during the Kargil war, people would take refuge there. Originally, it was meant to dry turnips.
And they would catch. They would also catch partridge.
They would catch partridges there.
Partridge उसके
यहाँ
अंदर.
पे सब पोटर का काम
Life
करते हैं.
saver.
तो फौज तो ऊपर पिक पे, तो उनको राशन रात को यहाँ पे रात भर पूरा आर्मी का काम करता था, जैसे कि राशन लाना.
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, सारे गांव वाले वो काम कर रहे थे
बिना टॉर्च के. वो भी
बिना टॉर्च
बिना
के.
टॉर्च पे ऊपर जाके नीचे.
इसके ऊपर बिना टॉर्च के.
बिल्कुल.
Because टॉर्च के साथ नहीं जा सकते.
अच्छा, टॉर्च ज्यादा खड्डा है, खत्म हो गई कहानी. So these guys used to, the villagers used to traverse
रोड नहीं है.
and give rations to the army people, and they wouldn't use a torch because that would obviously. But can you imagine climbing that hill without a torch? We've just come from a bouldering festival.
Hundarman village was quite an experience. It's quite amazing that Muzammil and friends have taken it upon themselves to protect and showcase it to the world. His efforts have not gone unnoticed, and as it turns out, he's going to be felicitated for his work at the Kargil festival that's being held tomorrow. From what Muzammil tells us, the festival is going to be a lot of fun, and we've decided to stick on for another day. Kargil is turning out to be quite a surprise. Next week, Johan and I attend the Kargil festival, a cultural event that showcases the culture of the indigenous tribes that inhabit this part of Ladakh. There's plenty of song and dance, even a high-energy polo match, the sport of choice in Dras.